What do you get if you cross 2 Englishmen, 2 Welshmen, a Scotsman, and a bloke who touches sea mammals? You get episode 68 of Transformers the show. As you can tell, I'm not Paul Faraday, I'm Xortrider, and we've got some special guests here tonight. We've got Brad, Exillion XLR, and Bumble Jumper 82, Ed. Tonight, we're going to be going through the news, the pickups, we've got a little bit of stuff from Rohan, and then we've got some Fanstoys Innuendo that Drunk and Alexis have sorted out, and finally, we've got our discussion for the week. So let's get straight on to the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
So we'll start with the Hasbro mainline news, as always. So we've got somebody correct me, it's the DLX. What's the full name of these things? DLX?
Optimus Prime.
No, I know it's Optimus Prime, you gimp. I meant
sorry.
the name of the company.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Netflix, Siege, Wolf of Cybertron, Optimus Prime.
Help me. But this is their oversized Siege Optimus Prime, I believe. Which is very nice.
Does it transform? It doesn't transform.
It doesn't transform, but I mean, so
why is it oversized then? It would just be, this is a model of Transformers.
Look at those jade windows.
I think they had to make it bigger in order to add in more articulation.
They added all the kibble. I like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, it does look incredible.
Is it
so as you see, oversized?
Would you take it to bed for?
If it kneels,
no, because it'll be die-cast parts, and that's just going to be uncomfortable when you roll over on it.
Is it all die-cast?
Put it next to your unit. I'm not saying actually literally being in your bed.
I seem to have misunderstood entirely there, Jamie.
I know.
I was thinking you meant in the Paul Farrelly sense, but anyway.
It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. Because I've got the 3
Is that what she said?
In the profile quotes with Rich.
It's smaller than the Bumblebee version.
Is that MP44 down there?
Yeah, it was MP44, and you got Toy World, or you got the that's probably the new version of Takara's version, but the same size as the Toy World, which is 12 inches. So the top one is 12 inches. The MP44 is 8.4 inches. So this guy's coming at about 9.5, I reckon, on the Richter scale.
Wow.
Can we go back to that photo of it kneeling?
Does it bring back good memories?
Oh well,
is that for your personal collection?
Yeah, that's like 11-year-old football team front row kneel, isn't it? That's pretty much, if your Transformer can do that, then it's ready.
Oh,
it looks more like me trying to get up after any kind of gardening, trying to get back up off the ground.
I thought
it's like,
oh, this is hurting my knees.
Yeah.
4 million years. I shouldn't be doing
that.
this.
Just collecting the mail in the morning.
That was me thinking you meant, Neil.
Like you don't just send mail in, Jamie.
I do. She doesn't need to bend down, though. She's quite small. She's just level.
do his eyes light up?
I don't know. I haven't been able to tell from the pictures, but
only when you're around.
The Megatron definitely does version of it.
Yeah, because they seem very dark, don't they? If they don't light up.
Yeah,
they probably will.
And then we went on to some, it's more speculation than news. I don't like calling it news, but someone has leaked out what they're saying is the future Transformers that we're going to get.
It's a wish list. It's not.
It feels more like a wish list.
This can't be true because Borders Dude said the other day that the Hasbro won't be doing combiners again. So if Minosaur's on there, Borders Dude, it's got to be right. He's in the know.
And Hasbro wouldn't call it Chug, would they? They'd call it Generations.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is somebody just hoping this is what we're going to get.
But
like you've got Motormaster, Breakdown, Wild Rider, Dead End, Dragstrip, Blitzwing, Galvatron 2, Galvatron 2, Blaster. Blaster would be great, but again, that's more wish list, isn't it? Sludge, Snarl, Perceptor, Goldbug, and what I presume is TF Transformers Prime, Optimus, and Bulkhead.
Can I just say that there was 2 photographs of this, right? What put me off, right, was that there was slag at the top is slag on top, slag. There was slug in the bottom.
Whenever a slag's on top, it's good news, isn't it?
No, I mean, no, but there was a slug down below as well, and I thought, I just thought, well, we've got slag. Why would we have slug? It didn't make sense in that respect. Galvatron 2 is obviously Megatron, which has just been announced effectively, but slug is just a red herring. Sorry, Carol.
Galvatron 2 could be the comic book coloured Galvatron.
Yeah, he'll be the grey Galvatron.
I think which makes me sceptical is everything everyone said. They called it Chug, which is masturbation in Scotland. That's what chug means. It's just a bit weird, because I made a mistake. I put my mum, and mum said, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "I'm a chug collector." She's like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, and then you've got all these characters, and it's just it seems like everything's coming out again, doesn't it?
So Studio 86 Slug, we've already had Slag announced. So why would you have Slug on there? That just makes no sense.
New character?
No.
They've got the copyright, haven't they?
A new character
mistyped the name.
A new character in the 86 movie, which has been around for just 35 years.
Could be.
If you think about it, though, logically, I mean, out of all of it, if you look at the 86 stuff, we know that there's a Starscream in his coronation gear on the way, which is apparently a leader class. We know the Sweep will be a Voyager. We know Swoop will probably be a Voyager. Slug's a leader. The Junkie on a Wreck Guard probably Voyagers. Are those who are at the top maybe the Luxes?
I would have thought so.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see the Insecticons being in that line.
I wonder if Kickback will come with an interchangeable squashed head.
Ooh,
just so you can make a movie
apart from die and become Cyclonus.
No. We all know it was
Dream.
So is Hasbro definitely got the trademark and back a lot of these names like Slag back?
Well, we don't know because this doesn't look like it's from any official Hasbro type of thing. This literally just
looks
like somebody's typed out what they think we'll get. So again,
take
it with a pinch of salt until we get some kind of confirmation.
From another random.
And then this popped up kind of out of nowhere, or it seemed to anyway. So this is the Energon Megatron that we're getting from Shattered Glass, except it's not Energon Megatron, is it? Because it looks like Energon Megatron because that's what the Shattered Glass Megatron was based on. Yeah. But it's actually another use, yet again, of the Siege Megatron mold.
And the 8
I promised I was gonna be fully into the 6 figures of this. And I had it in my basket, this one, to pre-order it, and I had a message pop up from Andy going, "It looks really shit on the track." I thought, I can't do it now.
Doing my part.
Peer pressure.
The robot mode's not so bad, although it still to me doesn't particularly look that much like who it's supposed to be. But the jet mode makes Siege 8 Faces jet mode look like a work of art. I mean, it's literally, right, guys, how can we make this look a bit like a jet? Let's extend his legs down and give him wings that can attach to it.
The cockpit sticks on as well. You put the cockpit on top of his legs.
Yeah, the cockpit is like the bit of the cannon that you'd have on his arm. And then the wings, well, they may be attached to
it. I don't know if it's because I've been brought up watching bad sci-fi, but I look at that and think it's beautiful. I just don't know.
It looks very Star Trek.
I agree.
You've been chugging too much. Chugging for too long there, Jamie.
I agree with Jamie. I do agree with Jamie. I agree with Jamie. You'd have the cockpits separated from the engine compartment because if there was an explosion, you could obviously separate it quickly. It's like there's magnetic bars.
I love it when it's toy fan logic to justify
bad cipher, right? And you do have that sort of thing. You do have it. Jamie's right. You do have it.
And it's coming in about September.
You can cut it any way you want. It's still not.
You'll notice that of all the pictures in the news, this one has got information in the text there because that's what I did.
Yeah, because Jamie has a lot of time on his hands, to be fair.
That's a lot of text, mate. I can't read all that.
Insert text box.
You got confused in the first line.
When it comes to Shattered Glass, I find myself more attracted to the heroic Decepticons than the evil Autobots for some reason. So I quite like the idea of getting a good Megatron because we've already got a bad Optimus in
Nemesis Prime, don't we? Yeah, we've always had bad Optimus.
I like the idea of him more than I like the idea of an evil Optimus again.
Yeah. I mean, he is more original. I just think they've been a bit lazy with it.
The box is cool, and it's coming with some comics as well if you get it from Hasbro. I don't know if that's true with other vendors. If you get it from Hasbro Pulse, they said they will be, I think, supplying a comic or some artwork.
Aren't they Pulse exclusives?
I thought they were.
Yeah, but I have seen them in demand toys as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I think I'm just getting a bit tired of the repaints because I visited Smith's today and I was looking up the shelves and right, there's a few original toys on there, but so many of them are just repaints again and again and again.
If anything should be a repaint, though, it should be an exclusive like this, rather than like a mainline character that you need for your collection, like we had with Thrust, say, and all of that last year. So I don't mind it that much in these because this is how exclusives really should be. But you're right about Smith. There's that many repaints of the same bloody things.
I mean, I noticed something on Twitter people talking about these exclusives and selects have kind of taken over from what BotCon used to try to do. And then BotCon's got a lot of negativity, which I didn't understand. All I know is that people are going, we don't like BotCon. And I was thinking, why is that?
Yeah. I feel like I'd buy more into Shattered Glass if the Decepticon badge just had 2 eyebrows to make it look friendlier.
You mean a monobrow?
It still looks evil. Yeah. Well, yeah. That make it look even friendlier. Just arcing eyebrows. I don't know why I'm drawing on my tits.
You're waiting for a third party to make the eyebrows, aren't you? The eyebrow.
Yeah, just eyebrow stickers to make it look friendlier.
Do any of you guys know why BotCon is looked down upon? Was it because it was just annoying to get exclusive?
I think they were difficult to get, especially outside of the US.
Do you guys know about the famous Thundercracker petition as well? When Thundercracker was being released as a Generations mold, there was a petition that went up online. It's still there. It's hilarious. It's somewhere. Someone who had a bot on Thundercracker put up a petition that was keep Thundercracker exclusive. And it became famous, like in the Transformers circles, and everyone signed it as a joke. And there's loads of like really rude signatures on it, basically taking the piss. I'll find it and I'll link you to it. It's brilliant. It's basically called "Keep Thundercracker Exclusive Petition," and it's just, as you go down it, it's hilarious.
Is that like Boaty McBoatface? People just joined it as
something like that. Yeah, people joined it and signed it. It's just like.
Wouldn't it be awful if Hasbro took it on board and meant, we'll listen to the people? No, read the names.
It was just someone who had the BotCon set of Seekers just wanted to remain elite and was just like, no, they shouldn't have a Thundercracker. I've got a Thundercracker.
You remind me, Brad.
Probably paid a fortune for it.
I did one of those. I did. You remember in Family Guy, Bird is a Word?
Yeah.
And it was like I made a Facebook group called Bird is a Word, Make Christmas #1. I swear to this day on Facebook, I still have like 4,000 followers on that group. Make Bird is a Word. And
that would have been crazy.
I got one the other day going, wants to join the group. Bird is a Word, Christmas #1.
It's like late to the party.
But whatever.
You're never late to that party.
Good you never stopped.
That whole Family Guy scene makes me it just makes me lol every time. So go on.
Anyway, this is third-party news now, and I'll hand this over to Alexis because I think you're the one who sent this in. So we're looking at what here, Alexis?
Oh no, Paul sent this in. So
was it Paul? Sorry.
Yeah. So
you must have an idea.
So this is this isn't anything you can purchase. This is so if you remember a few weeks ago, we actually displayed sort of 3D printed versions of this effectively the season 1 cast. And what the guy's done now is he's painted it, and he's also got season 1 and 2 combined as well. So Paul hasn't got this photograph, unfortunately, but he's actually done combined. So this is the world's smallest Transformers, and don't they look cute? It's like Polly in my pocket style.
They don't transform though, do they? They're just little figurines, aren't they?
No, they just stand really good on a wooden bench next behind hand. So
looks like a banister.
Yeah. No, but look. But the painting's really good. So these are 3D painted. These are 3D printed.
Incredible.
Sorry. So these are 3D printed, and someone has genuinely painted these, by hand. Obviously, I assume, or
could use it in the art, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's true. And then,
so, I mean, what I look is look. Sorry, to go back one. What I look at is Sunstreaker's windows. Wow. The yellow bit. Yeah. As well. That it's like that. That to me is like.
He's like, watch that, isn't he? That's nuts.
So these are again 3D printed, just a grey mold, and then someone's actually gone over and ultra micro focus on this, really. So cool. Carry on. So this is a 4th party version of Hound, and this is sad news because this has now been cancelled. So if you're not aware of this, this was going to be released. So the Takara's Hound, which got bad reviews because of the plastic quality, because again, it was made in a Vietnamese factory, and the Vietnamese factory isn't quite up to the standard of the Chinese factory. There was talk of the panels being the plastic being a little bit too soft, almost half between Takara and Magic Square, almost like a soft but then breakable. This has been cancelled now. So this was about £70. So everyone's been refunded. That's it.
So was it cancelled because Hasbro came down on them, or just because of materials?
There's been literally last 24 hours it just said cancelled. Other than that, there is more news as well. Sorry, I forgot to add photograph. I missed out as well, so I'm really pissed off. So if anyone who's bought these and doesn't want them, get in touch. So Fanstoys have officially relisted their Insecticons. So the Insecticons, which go at £200 each, are now they've now released them pre-order, and you can buy the full set in purple chest for Bombshell, or you can get the grey chest for an extra £50. The purple chest is £400. The grey chest, and this is for the three of them, is $450. And a lot of retailers did it, and I missed out because I was at cricket today and I forgot to do it because I thought they said 3 o'clock. I was told 3 o'clock, and it's actually 4 o'clock, and they can't get time right. So I'm really pissed off. But if someone is actually going to not want them and has put down a deposit, if you could let me know, that's the most important thing. But they are re-releasing them. So Shozy store sold out, Bad Boy Toy Store sold out, TFX Express have sold out, Chosen Prime sold out. So there might be other places going on. But again, if you don't want
what you should do, Alexis, you should get one of those wee taper things in your video and just have it in the bottom constantly saying that message. When you say newsreels, like
it's like an appeal
constantly across the bottom, like Sky Sports News.
Give me Insecticons.
Breaking: Alexis needs Insecticons.
A little picture of your sad face.
No, I've got
them. Insecticons for just £200.
It is more of an appeal, isn't it? Yeah. News.
To be fair, just going back to your point though, Alexis, Davo had I think shared something about this in one of the groups, because he was pointing out the one he shared was £300 for the purple chest ones, and £380 for the grey plastic ones. And he was making the point, why is there an £80 price difference just because they've got grey plastic?
No, so
apparently there was no other difference.
So so there was no difference originally, and Fanstoys now said that there's a surcharge because they know that the grey chest is more popular because it was in more demand, because the grey chest was obviously cartoon accurate, purple chest was toy accurate. Bad Cube did a really cool thing, and I've got and I would say that so you get the Bad Cube set for £130 all free. In insect mode, Bombshell had a purple chest, if it makes sense, on his back, purple back, and when he transforms, he had a grey chest. And what Bad Cube did, which was very clever, was they separated his chest and put it as a backpack, so the purple became the grey, so the front of his chest then became grey, so you can have best of both worlds. And that was 130. It's underrated. I would say this is now even more underrated when you're saying £130 for free bots versus £450 for free bots. Again, it's Fanstoys are trying to copy in here. I've got the Fanstoys, I've got the Bad Cube, and again, it's what you prefer. So I've got 2 sets. Yeah. So, but again, if anyone doesn't want the deposit, let me know. I love you.
Across the bottom of the screen.
Move on.
That's the news.
Okay, and now on to the pickup. So first up, we're going to send it over to one of the guests, our own legend scale Welshman himself, Brad. Picked up any good cheese this week, mate?
Cheese? Well, I got a couple of the old new things that have come in. Last time I was on, I picked up some mask, so I couldn't not show the old Condor. Got that off Dave Mentz for a very healthy price of, I can't actually, about 30 quid, something like that. But I was happy with that. Obviously, Brad Turner was one of my favourite characters when I was a kid, because that was the only other Brad I knew. There's no other Brads in Wales, just Brad wins. Blur from Micron St. Densetsu or Armada. I love Japanese Armada toys. I got this from Graham the Collector 75. He accepted a very lovely offer on eBay, and I didn't even know it was him. Then he said, "Mate, have you ordered a Blur?" I was like, "Yeah." So this arrived, and loads of people hate Unicron Trilogy toys, but if you buy them from Japan, they're only half as bad because the colours and the paints are so wonderfully robust. I don't know, but yes.
Also, you have a way with words.
Yeah, so wonderfully leave them in their boxes, and the boxes are lovely. Everything in Japan is packaged so nicely.
I've always liked that car mode. That car mode always to me looks
it's fantastic. It's so nice. Just the box. I just like to rub things on my face. It was sealed as well. I didn't feel at all bad about opening it. So, because I think toys should be freed from their print. But Graham, to be fair, kept this in such nice condition. I would have paid him easily twice as much for it. But don't tell him. Shit. Anyway. I've not been feeling Star Wars lately. So these are both still in the packets, and I'm waiting until I'm back on my little Star Wars kick before I open them. I can feel it coming. You know when you can feel it coming? Transformers is kind of like, oh, it's been really good, but now, and then Star Wars is like, here you go. I think it's since The Mandalorian finished, it's been a bit more like, get on your Transformers. But I got Bo-Katan, Black Series, and Are they Death Troop, Dark Troop, the black guy from Rogue One? I haven't opened them, but really looking forward to opening them. Just saving them for.
There was some controversy about that character, didn't she? Do an interview which people in the Star Wars community didn't like, or was that blown out of proportion?
You're thinking of the other one,
Cara Dune. Cara Dune.
You're thinking of Cara Dune.
The one you heard was like officially fired. Yeah. No, Katie Sackhoff was a Bo-Katan.
She's been uncancelled now, though.
No. So she's the Mandalorian Empress.
Yes, she's like the
potential Queen Empress, the one that will want to have the sword of destiny, whatever it's called.
Yeah. So her sister was the ruler of Mandalore.
I watched it once, right?
Yeah.
Her dad, she's basically her dad or her granddad or something. And she thinks she's an entitlement, so she's a fucking millennial. So fuck her.
I think Dad's crashed, not because you're just.
I'm okay.
He's back.
Oh, you're back.
Okay. We'll keep it running. Lastly, and I saved the best until that. Am I still here?
Yes, you're still with us.
Still here. Yeah. Like, when Alexis started doing your pickups, he does
the dragons up in the air. Yeah, that's my first third-party toys then. A lovely present from Rich for a thank you for sorting out his GameCube for him. The finest built-to-rule smokescreen.
The Lego-y type thing. I've seen those before.
Well,
when I opened this, I was.
It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It's so beautiful.
I love your sex face.
Magnificent.
Screenshot.
My internet connection's unstable again, but we'll just do this.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. little preview there to all the ladies for Brad's sex face.
That's what will be going on when it's finally opened. I don't know how that works.
That's what she said.
But yeah, that's the pickups from. I don't want to say from Cardiff because Ed's got his as well, but the pickups from North Cardiff. If we're getting geographically accurate,
which we are.
It worked. The dragons must be flying because the internet's shit.
Okay, so next up we're going to go over to Alexis, who's going to show us his pickups. Alexis, are you ready? Can we get the spotlight on him so we can see what he's bought? But before you start, Alexa, set a timer for 2 minutes. When I tell Alexa to shut up, you shut up.
All right, well, that's never going to work. So
it's never worked before. Why would it work?
So I've got a few things. So I'm downloading photographs of things that I've got. I've took photographs of, which I'm very proud of. Other things I've got this week as well, though. I got the what's it called? This. I have no idea what it's called. Angel Engine, which was a third-party version of animated RC. And I saw this on
Prime RC.
Is it Prime? Prime RC, sorry. Yeah, animated, sorry, Prime RC. I got this on
oh wow.
Off of I looked at it, I thought it looked really cool. I saw this on Ben's Collectibles and I got it, and it's really cool.
Ooh. Well, lovely.
Lovely. It's beautiful. I've transformed it. It's really small. I got it because I thought it'd be cool to have as MP bike. I saw someone have Nisi, the third-party RC, on the bike, and I got this. And if I show you what it looks like, I can show you. It looks really sick. Let me just get this one here. If I show you this is and then mind you, right? This is a MMC, right? And she's the smallest of them all, right? It looks fucking stupid.
I will never look like that on a motorbike.
Right? Is that okay?
It's like those little toy motorbikes you can get.
No, so it's clearly Voyager size. So she is 6 inches, 4.5 inches, and she's too big. So it's Voyager class, which is nice. It's not my class, unfortunately. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, it'd be really cool. So I saw there was a version of DC with the Marvel Studios. Who is it? Who's Scarlett Johansson, whatever her character is.
Black Widow.
Yeah, that's it, on the motorbike, and it posed really well. And I thought, oh, that's the size of her. Nope, this would pose with a really nice 3.5 inch. So this, and it transforms again into the bot mode. and everything is really cool. So I'll probably
it's a one-to-one copy of the first edition, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think when people showed the version of like Chromia, is it the Takara Legends Chromia? The light blue like?
Yeah.
The Hasbro version and Takara version with the dome goes over the top.
It looks like the Tron bike.
Yeah. If you look at this bit here, it's it's the same bike. The difference is this here the wheel splits into two legs and goes over both, and that one splits into one. That's pretty much the difference. So it's lovely, but it's just not my scale. So I bought it.
The pink version. There's a pink version. You could have them both aiding each other.
No, it doesn't scale. Unfortunately, it doesn't scale. That's the point. I bought it to scale. So I've got this whole thing going with like Junkions and other stuff like big bikes. I think I don't know if I can see it. These Unrustables. I thought it'd be pretty cool to go with that sort of scale.
We did not scale with your legend figures, though.
No, it's too big. It's not quite right. So the one thing I did work out by looking at Nisi was if Nisi was repainted, she'd make a wicked Moon Racer because she's got the same head sculpt as Moon Racer, and I think Nisi's been neglected because the big Firebird Nisi is meant to be RC. But as you can see it behind me here, directly behind me in the corner here, just in the corner there, that one there. But she's pink, but she's got the same head sculpt, the same head throne as well as Moon Racer. So I think she'd make a really cool Moon Racer, and obviously she's a cool sports car. So I'm gonna try and get someone to do me a custom of her as a Moon Racer. So that's number one. So I got
double D's in Welsh.
Nice.
So a custom, I watched with so Nathan Croak did a custom for me, and it was flywheels. So I always picture flywheels, and the reason I wanted extra time tonight because I haven't done it, and I've got the photographs, and I'll show them afterwards. Is do you remember in the Marvel Comics, flywheels was quite a piece? I thought he was in. Is it City of Fear?
Yeah.
And when
he brought Triptychon along, didn't he, to help out?
Indeed, he was the thing that saved the day. He was the one that saved the day in the end. Him and Tripto came along and just basically destroyed all the zombies, didn't they? They just took them apart. It was him backed up by Triptychon, wasn't it? He led him into the battle, and this is my rendition of that whole story. So I've got the original where there Magnus, and I know Springer wasn't there, but I know there wasn't made bots. It was the Trigger bots, but I've got Springer there because I've got Springer. And so my version of flywheels, I don't think flywheels is as small as in the modern genre. I think the IDW genre and also the current War for Cybertron. I think flywheels is as big as like Blitzwing almost, because he's a tank in the jet, right? So he's pretty big. And again, in the comic books as well, he was that. And this is them when they're chopping over the zombies and they're firing into zombies, and he's like, my foot, sort of thing. And like so I got this version of him made because this is my interpretation of flywheels as well. So they're all circles around, and
so that's using Overlord, is it? The Overlord mold, or is it Sky Shadow?
Sky Shadow.
I mean, they're basically the same mold, but yes,
awesome though.
Yeah, this is Sky. This is Sky. So again, you've got the
fantastic work by Nathan.
Do you have it in a more chocolate or more green? I always had chocolate. So I decided chocolate. I decided the colors. If you don't like the colors, it's on me.
Say chocolate again.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Chocolate. You get
is it got a Toy Master head, or is that a new head completely?
No, it's the same head but with a visor put on. So same head with a visor put on. Wow. So so it's the same head with a visor put on. Fighting from above, and then again Triptychon and him fighting together. Close up of him here with Tripsy. He's having some fun. And obviously Triptychon's much bigger. So I got that one.
I always love your poses, the photos you do. It's like all these cool action shots you'd find in a comic book.
I got this guy here.
Oh, wow,
so
is that from?
That quick?
Titan Masters?
No,
Quake?
it's it's from from Quake. Yeah,
I got Zaron. Zaron. So this is Emperor Zaron, made from Titans Return Quake. Because again, this is how I pictured him. So I always thought of again almost from like the same. It's like a prequel to the first one, isn't it? Because what's his name? Spartan? No, purple guy, right there.
Impactor.
Yeah. He becomes a zombie, doesn't he? So,
but I love purple guy. I think it's a cool name.
Thank you, mate.
Purple guy.
And green dude.
Exactly. So I've got enough. I didn't have much time to photograph these guys. So this is just these guys together, really. So
no, but they're cool photos.
So same sort of thing, really. I always thought of Impactor. So I always thought of Zombie Impactor, and this is my Zarons. I've always wanted these two, really. This is how that whole storyline made a big impact on me. So I always wanted to have representation of those guys together, really, in the comics. So.
I mean, I really love what you've done, because for me, I'm a big fan of Time Wars, so I'm getting to see the sort of the person who bossed the Wreckers around. They told them what to do, and I got to see Flybeals, who was the original Mayhem Attack Squad. For me, so that's just awesome to see that.
Funny thing is, on this photograph, Springer, because it's MP, he's actually on his knees. That's cool.
Springer again.
He's actually he's actually on his knees. He's so tall. Springer in.
Is that the open and play one?
Yeah.
Has he got a new head? New faceplate?
He does. He's got a faceplate from Shaw Misselbrook.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. But that is, I think that's all I've got, actually. I don't think I've got anything else this week. I think I've been pretty good. So I've got some MP some what are they called? Wolf Subtron bots, but they don't count, so it's fine. I got stuff for my boys.
Some count.
You
we count those.
I got some Hasbro stuff. Doesn't
I got
one of those things the commoners get. It's not important.
I got Corden and Spin Out. I got Grimlock and Wheelie. Can you count Wheelie? And then Scourge. So they came from came from Collectible Kingdoms. I got a lovely flyer from them. I really appreciate Collectible Kingdoms. So Collectible Kingdoms, big shout out to you guys. Thank you for getting it to me in such a nice package. So that's what I want to say. Thank you to. The bots themselves, I'll let you know when my kids destroy them at Christmas.
Only there's 8 months to wait.
I buy early.
Okay, shall we go on to Andy now?
Sure, why not, eh?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I will try to keep this relatively brief because God is watching me. So today,
best chat line ever.
I picked up. I should have used that one. I picked up Kingdom Warpath. I haven't got him out yet. I just haven't had time to open him up yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about him. He looks good. There's not many left at the moment in the Kingdom line that I'm particularly bothered about picking up. So he could be my last Transformer purchase for a little while because I'm just waiting on pre-orders and things now. So I think somebody on Twitter, it might have been Dave Wallace, made the comment about how you've got to wait like 3 or 4 months now before your next big lot of bots come out, and he's like, what do you do? So what I did was my son has really got into Fortnite recently, but he also likes wrestling. So I found these Fortnite figures, which he's insisted I have to show off on the show, which are the McFarlane Toys versions of the Fortnite figures. Now, I believe Hasbro now have the license for this, so these won't be around for much longer, at least not coming out new. So these are about 6-7 inches tall, and they're really, really good. They're like super posable. They come with a few decent accessories. So they come with a backpack, like a melee weapon, and some kind of gun or projectile weapon. This is Jonesy.
50% of the population of Wales, his name.
I believe he is Welsh. He's one of the OG characters. So there he is. He's quite good. Actually, in terms of build quality and in terms of kind of like the tightness of the ratchets and everything, he's probably the best one. He feels really solid and he's really posable.
You like your men tight, don't you?
You know it, Jay. And then the second one, because I got a few because they were on offer from Zavi, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to have some of these for him. Was this one? This one's called Carbide, and again, really posable and everything. But the problem with this one is much looser. So he's. I'm not going to say disappointed. If I was an adult collector collecting these figures, I'd be a little bit more disappointed with this one because it looks good, but like I don't know, the arms are just a little bit floppy and it's not quite good, but it does look good. Yeah, I mean, for an 8-year-old, he's absolutely chuffed. These are normally about £20, and they were £10 each, so we can't.
Do you ever buy that? Do you ever buy the solution which you sort of like put in with almost like a syringe into the joints that like firms up stuff? Like Rich, you mentioned it to me before, didn't you? I bought it and it works. I used it on my one of my Fanstoys bots, and it worked a treat. Have you ever done that before, Andy?
I haven't, no, because I've never really felt the need to. I've never had bots that are that loose, and the only ones that I've got that I can think of are super loose. I sell on the ones if little things like that will annoy me so much, I'll just sell them on, and it'll put me off the figure for probably life.
That's my point.
It's just on my G1 figures because my G1 figures are well used and played with, whereas mine.
That's my whole point. Richard, would you go on, Jay?
I was just going to say, I forgotten the name of that Decepticon, the leader, the one who lost his head to Blaster. You have him, and that's quite loose, isn't it?
Yeah, Straxus it's a great figure in terms of its looks, but parts of it can be quite loose. And I think the other one recently is Siege Ultra Magnus.
So I was going to say,
seen quite a few people mention about Siege Ultra Magnus having like wobbly legs. So you pick him up and give him a little shake, and his legs just flop about.
Richard? Would you say? Is it worth getting a solution to try and firm up the joints rather than sell on? Would you sell on?
It depends, right? I mean, it depends if you actually care about the figure that much to fix it, to be honest. Like a lot of my old G1 stuff and that, or some old bots that I pick up, I kind of like the challenge of like repairing them. It's kind of like part of the whole picking up an older bot thing, but I think for action figures, absolutely, because action figures, the tolerances on some of them are just a nightmare. But it all depends. I mean, that stuff that you bought, Alexis, is pretty good. But there are other things you can use, like even nail polish and super glue and all of that kind of stuff if you're feeling brave enough.
Pledge, if you listen to Bolt Matrix as well.
Pledge.
And the last one was he has bought another one, but he had that, so he didn't want to let me have that one because he was playing with it. This is called Rhino Beast mode or something like that. So comes with a rhino style horn, you see, and apparently they do different versions of this where it looks like different animals. And this one's all right as well. I mean, the big chunky things, and they scale well with his wrestlers. So he's had wrestling matches involving them, and then he's played just like Fortnite games with them. And that's the thing, when you're a kid, that's what you want to do with your toys, is to be able to kind of cross them over and kind of just do whatever comes into your imagination. So he's really chuffed with those. And if anybody fancies getting them, they're about a tenner each from Zavi. So
I've heard quite a few people are using the weapons to go with their G.I. Joe Black Series figures.
The weapons are really good. Was it you, Jamie, you mentioned last week about how some have been customized?
Some of them have even customized them into like different figures, like Firefly, because Firefly was quite hard to get. So there
was one I saw that looked a lot like oh my god, mine's gone blank. What's the name of the ninja for the G.I. Joes?
Andrew Stewart.
Storm Shadow, Snake
Storm
Eyes.
Shadow. Thank you. Oh, no, was it Snake Eyes? No, Snake Eyes is the good guy, isn't it? Storm Shadow is the bad guy.
There's a Snake Eyes Fortnite figure coming out. He's going to be a special exclusive.
I think what's happening with those is that Hasbro have now taken Jazzware's 6-inch scale. I think McFarlane are keeping the 7-inch scale, so I think they'll still be making them.
Oh, right. Well, that'll be good then.
And Jazzware are doing the 3.75 inch now. So there's like 3 different scales of Fortnite made from 3 different companies, which is really random. But I've seen them at Farnham ones. They're really good, and the Jazzware 6-inch ones are really good as well.
Well, we're just all waiting. Me, Paul, Alexis, and Jamie. We're all waiting for them to come out with the bush to hide in, because that's a favourite tactic at the moment. Is just quickly to the bush, let everybody kill each other, and just hide in a bush. Oh, giving away our secret. Anyway, that was me.
Hopefully you edit
Well,
this bit out.
cheers, Andrew.
Yeah, edit that out.
Shall we go back to Cardiff and see what Ed's been buying?
It's like the One Show.
Hi guys, so I have got a couple of pickups to show you. I'm very excited to show you this one because this is something I never thought I'd get, and I sold some stuff lately, cleared some space because he is quite a big boy. You probably already got this, but I haven't, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Oh, it's Siege Jetfire, and when I went to TFN 2019, this is the bot everyone was getting, and I thought, nah, he's too big. And yeah, it is massive, but my wife gave me the seal of approval, and she was like, oh, that's an amazing alt mode. She used the correct term, so I was like, yeah, I'm glad we're married. So really happy to have this. Also, there we go. Sorry, new camera. That's not really pickups, but it is a new camera.
It can only hold beauty for so long.
Also, because given the Armada reference from Brad earlier, I picked up for a review. This is Cyclonus.
Oh, I love that figure.
And
What a beauty.
I've never actually had this guy in hand before, and his face is amazing. He's so pretty. Will it go? Yeah, look at that. He looks like he's been punched repeatedly in the face. I think he's absolutely wonderful. I got him for a review. I wasn't originally going to get him because, well, you'll see why. But I think he's great. The gimmick, the blades go around. I think it's wonderful. So
love that, like the mini comics, a new cockpit as well.
Yeah,
love that. That was brilliant.
Because
this
comes up here.
Show us the blades. Show us the blades.
What was that?
He says, "Show us the blades."
Show us the blades.
Okay.
I want to see the gimmick.
It's turned into that bloke you don't want to sit next to on the night bus.
An hour ago.
Do you want a sweetie?
That's it, night bus style. I want to see the blades.
Sweeties.
All right, here we go. Bearing in mind, I've never I've transformed
Live
this guy once.
transformation.
Black Panther.
Slide his legs down.
There we go. I think. Is that right?
No,
no.
His legs go forward.
Yeah, you're right, Brad. Here we go. Now we're getting it.
It's not a good thing to know.
Life experience. You should learn to appreciate it.
I used to have 3 of them.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that Cyclonus used to be Skywarp. Just throwing it out there.
Did it?
Not this guy. Nah,
like all Cyclonuses. Or Cycloni.
Oh,
not touching that. Okay. I also
Taxi.
got these because I'm trying to get all my tapes for Soundwave. So I've got Rat Bat and Rumble. This is my first cassette Rat Bat. I've never had a cassette Rat Bat, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, that is Rumble.
Where did you manage to find them from, Ed? I've been looking for that server.
I got this from eBay. The seller, it was about 12 quid, which is pretty good, I thought.
I'll have a look. Okay, I haven't seen them actually. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got the orange version of this that came with the Spy Patrol, and I really wanted. I think it's Wing Thing, isn't it? And I really wanted a purple one because he's an accountant. He's the Decepticon accountant.
Oh, the real evil behind the Decepticons.
And finally, this isn't a pickup, but the gun was. I got the gun for Growl, which is my last Micromaster.
Yeah.
So I've now completed my Micromaster patrols from G1. Huzzah!
Awesome.
Nice.
Hey, what a great week.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's all me.
Okay.
Okay.
Cheers, Ed. So on to Jamie.
Yeah. God, I've got to spotlight myself now. Jesus. So this week, I'll just quickly just share a screen of what I got. Advanced. And so I got Toy World Infinitor. And to me, this was thanks to Alexis. Actually, it came up in a sales post, and Alexis tagged me in there. So almost instantly, as the post got done, Alexis was in there. He must be like stalking these forums,
Ninja.
I was able to go straight away
Get a job.
buy. And he was selling it for, I mean, I don't know, Alexis, obviously you don't say because you were the one who tagged me in. So did anyone else want to guess how much I got it for?
Can I guess, even though I already know?
Alexis, you don't guess. Yeah, no, I don't. I think you already know, Andy.
Yeah, I already know. I won't guess.
So you can't guess it.
I can. I just know it'll be right.
Is it 12 Welsh pesos?
Ooh, that's a bit rich for my liking, Brad.
Is that with some sheep thrown in?
Yeah, the pesos is Welsh for sheep.
Do you know, Andy? Andy, I think after this, Jamie will want us to guess.
Possibly.
That might be the best words you've ever spoken this night, Alex. No. Any guess, guys?
What scale is it?
Leader class scale. Leader class, just slightly bigger than leader class.
Leader class plus.
Yeah.
Was it a good deal?
Third-party prices. I don't know, 120 quid.
Fuck. I'm not.
Don't give hints out, Jay.
Yeah. Oh, that's close.
Actually, and also don't lie.
It seems a lot smaller now. I can see deep cover. Yeah, deep cover.
Yeah, so that's to give you an idea of scale there. So basically, I managed to pick him up for £45.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, and that
price, mate. Yeah.
And that was all inclusive. And the thing was, it took about 3 weeks to get here because when he sent it off second class signed for, and he gave me a photo to show basically what it was. And after 10 days, it still hadn't been delivered. So I had to contact him to say, look, it's not been delivered yet. So you're going to have to contact the post office because he was the sender. And the post office ended up sending it back to him. So he got his parcel back. He said, they've just sent it back to me, so I'm going to have to post it again. And he did it all again. And yeah, it got sent in about 3 days' time. So I was quite worried at first because you're thinking it's such a great deal and it would be typical Royal Mail to lose it or they put it in a recycle bin, which has then been taken away that day. So I was a bit worried at first, and I got it. Oops.
Jay, did you not take a picture of his best bit?
Oh, well, the thing was, I only just got it like about 2 hours before the show started, and I was still finishing off work. So that's why I only really got 3 photos to take. And I was really excited because this guy is, I mean, I know we are talking about, like, sometimes we refer to, like, grails and stuff like that. I don't like to say that word because I've got big eyes. So anytime I see something, it becomes a grail. But I just love all the little things, like, the guns coming out, it's just like, the guns from his hands and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's just like a miniature version. Well, it is a miniature version of Fortress Maximus. So I'm like stating the obvious, but it's just like, I'm looking forward to getting to playing around with this figure.
Jamie, do you go on, Alexis.
Jay, you haven't done the thing.
What thing's that?
He's a headmaster.
Oh yeah, well, his head came off. I actually fixed him and I was putting the head back on. But yeah, when you take down it's like he's got a readout.
That's what I mean. He's the actual headmaster. That's just really cool.
Yeah,
got the speed, strength, intelligence.
For the scale of him, though, he's an actual headmaster. For what you get, though, he's that scale, and you get a proper headmaster.
That looks pretty detailed.
Oh, it is. I mean, I can't. Do you know? Because the thing was with Alexis, I told Alexis I was looking for this guy, and I was literally going to have to get the new Zeta. There's a Zeta version which is more metallic, and I was going to have to get that sent over, and that might have cost like as Ed said, about 120. When you think about transport and then getting hit by tax potentially or VAT. So when I saw that up in the sales group for £45, that was just an amazing chance to get it. And to be honest, I've been playing around with it. I already transformed it because I just wanted to, and sometimes when you feel like I'm a bit bored of Transformers and then, but that was such a joy to play with, it was such it was so fun. And I was so excited. And I got Unicorn last week. And yet, to me, this was like, oh, this is amazing, just getting this, because I've wanted the Fortress Maximus to scale with my other headmasters from the comics, like the UK comic versions, because I love Time Wars and I loved the fact of Fortress Maximus fighting Galvatron and getting his ass kicked as Galvatron like punches through his chest, and I think his fist comes through to the back. So to get a sort of like a Fortress Maximus which pays homage to the Marvel UK comics, to me is just like that's amazing. You know, and I know there's is it the Warden for IDW, and I'm not such a big fan of IDW in some respects. I do love them, but I didn't like the IDW version of Fortress Maximus. So I wanted my, and it's funny because I heard you guys talking about fan toys, and I was thinking, oh, why do you want cartoon accurate? Why does it matter if it's toy accurate? Then I thought when it came to Fortress Maximus, I'm worse because I want my comic accurate, you know, figure, so I can understand. Yeah, and it's amazing.
There was meant to be a MMC version of Fortress Maximus from IDW. The female version of Coulter, they're doing the purple version. Yeah. Meant to be, so it's going to be an IDW style Fort Max like this.
That's a pity.
Like it was a exclusive to Planet Express, which is where the MMC female Coulter Iris is from. And I looked at it the other day and she got cancelled. It's unfortunate. So
she got cancelled as well.
No, she's still there.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of people want her.
No. She's oversubscribed 1st of May. She'll be
because I've missed out on that because I would go for that now, but at the time I was like, oh, should I go for it? I'm not sure. And then the minute it's sold out, I'm like, I wanted that. Dear God, you know? What the hell? Also, because as Andy and other people were alluding tonight, and some people were talking about almost toy fatigue, there's going to be probably about 4 months before we get the new pre-orders of Transformers. And so I've started to move into G.I. Joe to fill up that space, that void in my life. Yeah, so I've got some extra troopers, infantry, G.I. Joe, Cobra infantry. And hopefully when I get my garage eventually renovated and stuff, I'm going to start trying to do some more photos of some G.I. Joe figures and stuff like that. You know, what I might do is look for Alexis for advice on his background scenery and stuff, and start sort of looking at dioramas and stuff and see if I can start trying to improve in that way. But yeah, so I got some of that stuff, but I'm really delighted by Toy World Infinitor. Do you know, every time I look at that name, I don't know if it's because I've got a lazy brain, but every time I look at Infinitor, I keep reading the word infiltrator. And so even though I've read Infinitor, I keep going infiltrator, and I just don't know why. I just had that in my mind all the time. Explains why people have no idea what I'm talking about when I said, yeah, I want that infiltrator, you know.
Cheers, Jamie. So first thing I picked up this week was one of these, is it Lanyard Toys? Predator figures, 7-inch scale from Smiths. They're like $9.99 each. This is the City Hunter from Predator 2. And they're really good figures. They're really, really good for the price point. I picked up the half kind of invisible, transparent one the other week. And yeah, I saw this one on the shelf and I thought, well, I love Predator 2. And I might try and customize it with a wash or something.
Such an underrated movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I love
so underrated Predator 2.
Yeah.
Does the mask come off?
It doesn't now. It's part of the head. But the articulation on it, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Lanyard Predator stuff that came out about a year or so ago. Some of those didn't have arm articulation or knee. This has got all your articulation you need for your action figure photography, to quote a Scotsman. So this is pretty awesome. And for a tenner, yeah, brilliant. So I picked up that from Smiths. And then Hasbro got me again because I bought a repaint of the Ironhide mold. It's Dezeus or something, the Quintesson drone or whatever it is. Yeah, that's the one. That's the dude.
He's a
Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond the Quintesson.
I'd love
Desmond the guard.
So I love this mold. I love this mold for Ironhide, but then I got the Earthrise one. And I thought, okay, right, well, I'll pack that one away and never think about it again. I've got crosshairs, but he's got a different head. And it was one of those things where I didn't want to pick up one of these online or order it. But when I walked into a shop and it was there, it looked really good. So I picked it up and I think it's amazing.
It does look nice, mate.
Yeah. And I love the green painting there. Yeah.
A black currant screen.
Yeah. And in my simple head as well, I'm thinking it's kind of like a movie version of
Are you
Iron
going to
Man
get a
because
second one, sort of army build?
No, I don't think so.
I'm getting a second one.
I can see why people want to do it.
It's just loads.
Buy all of them.
I mean, today I saw the Blue Deep cover and is it the rusty one, Sparkle Spot? Is it?
Barricade.
Yeah, the Barricade one.
Yeah.
But this is really, really good. I recommend this one.
If you get the Sparkle Spot in hand, it's really strange. I don't know if it's just me and my weird eyes, but I think of it as like a wooden finish. It's almost like it's made of wood.
Yeah. I thought I'd like that one more. But when I saw this, I thought it just looked awesome. And I quite like the Quintesson badge on it as well, which is something a bit different.
In fact, I think that would be cool, a wooden transformer. Could you imagine an eco-friendly transformer? You wouldn't last long, you'd just like get set on fire or something, but
I think someone's made some else. I'm sure.
There was wooden transformers in the IDW stories, wasn't there? It was part of Scorponok's experiments with that. I wouldn't give away too many spoilers, but you don't. I can't say too much without giving away too many spoilers. But yes,
is there nothing IDW won't do?
They'll go anywhere.
Were they oak or a fine mahogany?
Or... a fine mahogany.
The beach.
Beechwood. I would be
don't bring your beach filth in here, Brad.
Or beach laminate.
Subhuman scum.
Just nasty.
Nasty. I did have something else in my hand today.
And your wife
did you
came
say
over.
that?
I saw the deluxe. I saw the deluxe Black Series Boba Fett in Midco Toys in Burton-upon-Trent, and I thought to myself, because I really like this shop. It's a Toy Master, and I thought to myself, I'm going to pick up that if it's there, and it had a markup of about 14 quid, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Was it like 45 quid then? Oh, right.
No, 40 quid.
Blimey,
40 quid. Yeah, and compared to like, you can get them on Star Action figures for like 27, 28 quid. Is in stock. And I thought, nah, I'm going to leave it. And I was gutted because I wanted to get something that just moved shop. They had loads of cool stuff in, but there was nothing there. Everything was marked up. So I went next door into the Entertainer, and they had, this is like a complete impulse purchase, but it's a Marvel Legends Beast, and this was reduced to 9 quid, £9. So I thought, why not? It's a big chunky figure. It comes with like a book and a set of glasses and another head and some hands.
You want something chunky in your hand?
Yeah, something chunky and beastly in my hand.
Rich, mate, what was it that caught your eye about him?
I saw him online. I saw, the blue pants, definitely the blue, the Netflix Deep Cover blue. I think to be honest, it was just he just looked a good figure. And sometimes I'll get Marvel Legends, but it's mainly MCU stuff, not really the comic based stuff. I don't think I've got any comic based stuff now. I'll tell you, I've got a Spider-Man. And I just saw it and I thought, you know what, it's cool. It's got some cool accessories with it, the glasses, the book. I could use those for some photography or whatever it might be. And I thought for 9 quid, why not?
Did you see the figure I got a couple of weeks ago, the one that was the muscular guy? Shang-Chi, I think he was the character.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You're going to use him as a quick kick, aren't you?
Yeah, because I got him and I just thought it was like looking in the mirror. That's what it takes to me.
Well, same with me. And the only other thing I picked up, and this was last Sunday, I went to the first car boot since we've been allowed out of our houses, and I saw this, and it's tat, right? It's complete tat, but for 2 quid, I thought it might be fun for me and the little lad to play with. So it was just this bot shot thing. Wow. Yeah, and it's still like sealed. So like, well, it's not sealed, but it's all packed away inside. It hasn't been opened.
Is that how they work? Is that how they actually fucking work? You have to. There's a game behind bot shots.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's like rock paper scissors.
Each other.
There's a point to it. Yeah, they crash into each other. And...
I've got loads of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was 2 quid, and to be honest, I kind of like the Megatron because it looks a bit like Galvatron.
Is there a secret figure in there as well?
I don't know.
On the bottom, it says it's got a figure like a silhouette with a question mark on it. On the base.
On the bottom.
On the bottom. Is there a secret figure, mate? I don't, on the bottom.
Base. On the base of the box.
Right on the base box.
Oh, right.
Pivot.
But you guys are eagle-eyed, aren't you?
Oh.
Superbot.
I want to know who this is.
Is it in there, though?
Mystery Dave.
I don't think it's in there. Because you only get the two.
There's that. And then there's the
it's like a Bakugan arena.
Yeah.
What's it called? Beyblade. That's the one.
Yeah, Bakugan. Muscle Munch Bakugan.
Do you remember when you were kids, though, and you used to have just normal toy cars and play them against your brothers and just smash them?
Just smash.
Do you remember the ones? Was it the Matchbox ones where they had the built-in flip damage, so you could crash them into each other, and they damage. They nicked it from. Was it the other way around? They used them for the Matchbox cars, so you could crash them in, and like a little bonnet would flip around. It looked damaged, and then they nicked that and used it for He-Man. For the ones where you could punch them in the chest and they'd get the battle damage chest.
Yeah.
I used to have the cars.
History.
I got the boys have those now. Cars. I love those cars.
Yeah, they were cool.
Okay, some good pickups from everyone. Now we're going over to Alexis, who's going to give us a bit of an innuendo.
Boys, together. Only Fanstoys.
Innuendo. In your endo.
I want me to read it out loud.
Other than this, bro, I think I'm about to shit my pants. Hold this real quick pose. I don't believe I've ever had Iceman in a stance other than the standards A to accommodate. That pack of his. Anybody ever get this guy in a stable position that looks interesting?
So
I want to take a guess as to who it is.
Iceman.
So everyone knows the name is the Iceman because it calls it Iceman. I need to know the actual official. What's the official G1 name?
Aeroid?
Firefly.
Skydive.
Yeah, close enough. It's the
Close enough. Which one? Any of them.
There were letters.
You'd be a great quiz show host, Alexis.
What's the black one called?
Air raid.
Which Rich said. So that was for you, Farrelly. Only Fanstoys Innuendo.
Cheers for that, Alexis. Okay, so it's time for us to go over now to our friend Rohan, who's going to be talking about Hasbro price rises and his recent obsession with Love Hunter. So,
Rohan.
Love honey.
Throw hand. Thank you, gentlemen, for that wonderful introduction, as always. Love it. And welcome, everyone, to Rohans Corner. And this week, I'm talking about Hasbro's reported price increases and how that's going to affect green packaging for the Transformers line, as well as the cost of increase in the upcoming lines after Kingdom. So, if you missed the news this week, Hasbro announced that due to the pandemic, they're going to have to increase their prices for all their products. And it's not just Hasbro, other manufacturers like Mattel and others in other industries as well have also been making these claims about increasing costs, and the way in which they do business has changed, and so on and so forth. And so, as a result, we're going to see a price hike. Now, I don't know about all of you, how you feel about this, but for me, I feel like we've had price hikes for many, many years. And, you know, I look back at Transformers history when we used to get the Autobot cars in G1 for about $7.99, which obviously was a long time ago. So you can understand, you know, prices increasing from that stage to today. However, if we go back to sort of 2001, 2002, when we had the True or Toys R Us reissues of the G1 cars come out. Does anyone remember how much they were in the shops? I can't actually remember, but I can imagine that they weren't as high as the current price of a deluxe class figure today. And I think Prime and Magnus were around the £20 price mark, which is quite reasonable if you look at what a leader class or a large class figure would cost today. And if we look at the Unicron trilogies, I still remember that we had the deluxes in and around about the £10 price point, with the smaller figures coming in around £6, £7, £8. I remember the Minicons were a lot cheaper. Obviously, the 3-packs, I think they came up to around 7 or 8 quid. And we also had people like Laserbeak, who was at his own price point. I think he was about 6 or 7.99, going on true prices because that's where I worked at the time. And then we had the Mega Class. Now, I seem to recall that the Mega Class started off around about the £15 price point, and over the years it kept creeping up closer and closer to that £20 price point. And then we had the Command Class, which was that sort of £20 price point, which used to rise up and kept creeping up towards the £25 mark. And I do believe that the Leader Class price point started at around about the £30-35 mark for Armada. Megatron, for example, was sort of, he was in the Command Class, larger than Voyager packaging. But Armada Prime, and then into Energon when we had Megatron and Prime coming out in the lead class. I'm pretty sure they were up around the £40 price point, and then we were getting discounted at the end of the year down to about £30. And over the years, obviously, all those prices have crept up and up and up, and today now we're seeing deluxes at, well, in the main line, £17.99 and £18.99 seems to be about normal. In the SS86 line, we're seeing them at £21 in some places, maybe £22. And then we look at Voyagers, and in the main line, £24 they were last year in Earthrise and in Siege, and they seem to have been creeping up to the £25 price point. So £23 in Siege, 24 in Earthrise, 25 in Kingdom, and the same goes for SS86, where we're seeing them up at the £30 price point, possibly even £31-32 for most retailers. And then Leader Class, which started off, as I say, years and years ago, back in the £40 price point, has been creeping up and up and up, and now is starting to hit 50, 51, 52, and in Studio Series 86 we're seeing Grimlock often at £54-55, which is quite mad, really. And then they've obviously introduced the Commander class at 70, 75, 80, 85 now for Rodimus, which is strange because, you know, just a couple of years ago with Jetfire, he started off at 72, 75, 77, now it's gone up to 80. It's mad. And then obviously the Titan class, I think I remember when Metroplex came out, he was somewhere around the £100 mark. And over the years, more and more of them have crept up in price, and now we're seeing Scorponok and the likes coming up at 140, the Ark at 140, 150. It's getting quite ridiculous. So where is it going to end? Are we going to start seeing Deluxes creeping up to £25, and then Voyagers creeping up to like £35, and then Leaders creeping up to £75, Commanders to £100, and then Titans to £200 in the future? And all of this combined with the fact that Hasbro are now saying that actually we can't sustain our green packaging that we've been putting forward for the Kingdom line with less plastic and more card for recycling, because actually the cost is too high. So, you know, it all starts to make me question how much is the right price point for these products, because they're luxury products at the end of the day. They're not something that you need. And, you know, I was looking at buying some Legends the other day, 5 Legends at a cost of £200, and I was thinking, hang on a minute, £200, that's a month's worth of groceries for my family. Do I, you know, buy my Legends or do I buy my groceries? And I'm sure many of you have this quandary or conundrum that you have to deal with. If you do, let us know. Let us where your sort of point is, where you make the decision and say, actually, you know, Transformers, as much as I love them, I can buy these products because I can afford them in my coming months, or I have to set aside so much for my family or for my bills and whatever else because of the way in which the world is at the moment. So, what do you think? Hasbro increasing prices? I think they've done it too many times over the last few years. We had a price increase from Earthrise to Kingdom. I think they should stick on the price that they have today, do what they've done with petrol prices at the pumps and keep it there for the moment, see how we get on for a couple of years, and then, you know, you can increase again with inflation. But I can see there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk reactions to the pandemic and price increases in general. Anyway, for another week, I've been Rohan. Catch you again next week on Rohan's Corner. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, who ain't been rumbled? Well, let's bounce.
Cheers, Rohan, you naughty kinky man. Back over to Alexis, and who's going to talk us through the Transformers Time Warp.
I have 2 questions in each scene, and then you have to answer them, and we will see what happens. So the first question is, what did Paul disclose? What happened to Paul, and who did it? That's the first question.
Paul does look like he's looking into my soul.
Did he fall asleep?
It isn't even HD, Alexis.
What was the cause? And then who danced?
Alexis.
Hell yeah.
I have no
Right,
idea.
my turn.
Come on, love bite.
Love bite.
Love bite.
I think.
So who
What
was the question again?
Oh yeah.
Who was the cause and who
on.
danced?
Who was the cause and who danced?
Italian. Right, my turn.
Come on, love bite.
I'm going to go with Jamie for the cause.
No,
And who danced?
There's no malicious intent there, Jamie. You just
didn't he have a cut or something on his neck? And you said it was a love bite. I seem to remember this one.
Oh. Could that be a good shout or not?
Good shout, Ed. I'm adding Brad to the list, though.
I didn't know there was
made
a
the
list.
Ed, I want your hypotheses.
How did he do it though? I can't remember how he did it. Because he had a cut or something on his neck, and you called him love bite there because you guys kept making attention to it.
We did.
But I think maybe Jamie. Does Jamie do a little dance? My whole recollection is hazy.
Jamie looks like he's in dancing gear.
This is episode this is episode 22. This is the 10 shots, 10 bots.
I've seen it. I've definitely seen it.
Does anyone else want to add anything else to that?
I think the cause of it is if you look at Paul's picture, there's a box that's out of position on the top right-hand corner. So I reckon that's the cause of it. Yeah. And I reckon he's going to spot it, and then he's going to do a dance out of frustration for it not being straight.
Very good. Anyone else? Are we done?
I'm going to go with Andy's looking very happy. Even though I can see half of it. Yeah. Andy's looking very happy. I think he might get really, really cross in a second. And Jamie will do a dance because he's made Andy angry. And then Andy gets happy because Jamie's danced. And everyone then has one of those dairy triangles, and you all eat one on screen.
I want Brad's to be true.
Are we ready to see what happens? Here we go.
Which makes sense.
Hang on. Let's go back to being
Italian. Right, my turn.
Come on, love bite.
Which makes sense because you want to focus on the living.
You shared your love bite then.
Oh yeah. What is that?
What is that?
So, Paul, for our viewers that haven't seen, Paul met one of our fans recently. Thank you, RJ.
You just pretended you were Springer.
RJ, social distance, social distance.
So this is robot number 9.
Hang on.
I'm feeling fine.
And there we go.
So was Jamie's the dance then?
Did that count as dancing?
Yes, it does.
That's it. Jamie
those moves.
In fact, that's supposed to have moved even on a dance floor.
We will dance at TF Nation, Jamie.
Everybody will be doing it. Be like in a movie. Anyway.
Shouting RJ, social distance, social distance.
I can't wait for the second clip now.
And that was before COVID, so you know that was like real.
It was crazy.
Get those chalky gloves on.
So in this clip,
oh God, I look like a Wonders Year reject.
For our viewers,
Alex just looks like Mickey Hakkinen. Like.
I love it.
You know, looking at these video clips reminds me of what Alexis was like when sober. It's almost like tears.
Yeah.
Alcoholism ravaged it.
That was so this one here, right? So why are we recording in the morning?
Anybody want to take a guess?
Yeah,
that's it.
Did you all forget to press record the night before?
I'll play it.
17 of Transformers, the UK podcast. I'm Paul, your host for today's session of Transformersness. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Alexis. Hello, Alexis.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
This is
hello,
back
Andy.
Say hello.
Morning. Too early for this.
Actually talk to each other.
Thanks for this. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Paul.
So just a note for our listeners, we normally start our podcast at 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night with a few beers. Today we are broadcasting at 9 a.m. on a Friday morning.
Is it just because you wanted to see if it made more sense when you were sober?
Last night we watched...
Nope.
Is it because you're all doing shots and lots of them?
Still being paid.
No.
Is it because Alexis and Jamie didn't have white lights for their green screen, so needed to do it in front of a daylight window?
It's a good guess, but no. Alexis, are we going to share the rest?
I don't know where that bit goes.
It's his head.
Right, career day. Right, thank you very much for joining us in this podcast. What do I normally say? Right, if you go to Transform Facebook...
Yeah, tell us where to find us.
You need a Brocker, mate. You need a Brocker, a coffee.
Is this the same one?
A little bit of a lie down.
Yeah. Different background.
And
I
didn't wrong around.
Like 5 pints.
This is red wine you had before.
Well.
You had red wine.
Yeah, only one glass. In my head, I thought,
bottle, mate.
I've got sick of it and walked off.
I know you do.
Yes, so we're on Facebook if you look for Transformers Podcast, or if you want to come and have a chat with us, if you look at Facebook, Transformers UK. TFUK is our home where we like to chat about bots, so please come and join us there and say hello. Obviously, we're on YouTube.
So my question was, why did we?
Clip, was it?
No, wrong around. But anyway, it didn't explain. So why were we? So the question is though, why were we recording the wrong way around? I can play the clip because I cut it before we showed it. But why were we recording in the morning?
I don't even know where I am anymore. Be honest.
I mean, I feel this is without a shadow of a doubt our finest works, and in no way should this entire section.
So normally,
if I can see something,
leave it all in.
Are you guys going to answer that one then? So why we're recording the morning?
I don't think they know what they're answering.
No.
I said you forgot to press record.
That's one. We've done it before. That was not a night.
Wait, a what actually?
Yeah.
3 times.
Brad, any ideas for me, Brad?
Yeah, he's thinking, don't come on this again.
No, I'm well up for coming on this again. This is like the best thing. This is brilliant. This is the kind of random shit I love.
See, that's the bit you stick at the start of the show there, Alexis.
Yeah. I'm going to say that I'm going to say that 2 sheep is
2 sheep deep.
2 slaves are not worth. I can't even talk properly.
There we go. Right, okay, Richard,
you're one of us now, Brad.
Richard, what is your answer? Why would you think we record in the morning?
I think you were that late. It just become like 9 o'clock in the morning.
I think we'll still be recording at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So
it feels like it, doesn't it?
We're going that way.
It certainly feel like that sometimes.
It does tonight. What's the real reason, Alexis?
Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. Here we go.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Transformers, the UK podcast. I'm Paul, your host for today's session of Transformersness. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Alexis. Hello, Alexis.
Morning, guys.
Morning. Hello, Andy.
Morning. Too early for this.
Yep. Thanks for this. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Paul.
So just a note for our listeners, we normally start our podcast at 9 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night with a few beers. Today we are broadcasting at 9 a.m. on a Friday morning. After last night we watched Transformers the movie with some friends. Greg on his page, Primetime Toys, shared the video. We watched it together and we had over 4 beers. So it was lovely getting up at 9 o'clock this morning to do this podcast. So apologies
Over 14.
Is that the reason?
And that's the reason. See, genuine reason.
Oh God.
So much sympathy for
4
us.
beers too much.
Genuine reason. 4 beers. There we go.
There's you need to get onto the Twitter groups, mate. You listen to a lot of stuff,
So it's a genuine,
which is bad.
I don't want to.
Get
I can't even do the okay.
Get some love in your life. Get some love. Get some love.
Sounds like an offer.
I just want you to do the news.
I'm going to get some Care Bears on your life.
Right, go on, do it, Alexis. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh, hang on.
Do it.
so there's 2 questions here. What does Alexis do? And then what happens after I do?
Okay. I think
Did someone say, oh dear?
They probably did, but not necessarily just amongst us. Just generally. Go on, Brad.
I think that.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Cool.
I think that relating to Paul, who likes 90s punk rock, I think that Alexis is taking the piss out of Paul's music tastes, because I've had that done to me a lot, and he suddenly breaks into NSYNC, I Want You Back, because Alexis's mistaken identity of punk rock might be NSYNC, and Paul agrees, and everyone goes home happy.
Oh dear.
Well, we are.
I'm not familiar with that NSYNC song, but
It's
you could be onto a winner there.
You're such a liar, you are, Ad. You're right.
Fuck you. Take that all the way.
I think you find Bye Bye Bye.
Wasn't that the name of their third album?
All right, bye.
Sorry, go on, Ed.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think Bye 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 is the best NSYNC song. But I think that
we're learning so much about me.
We're starting an NSYNC argument here, aren't we?
This is what everybody tunes in for.
I think that Alexis is wearing some special Transformers underwear. He's a bit coy about showing them, and the guys are all egging him on to just pull them out.
The underwear, you mean?
Here we go.
Yeah,
Is this today or then?
I'll take anything right now.
Monsieur Xortrider. Monsieur Xortrider.
I reckon what's going to happen is everyone's going to start going, do it, do it. You take your top off and you use, I think it's a Fanstoys Hot Rods spoiler to smear darily triangles all over your body.
It's nice to know what people think of us. Here we go.
Just do a countdown.
7, 14,
Oh, no.
2,
12.
6, 1.
Tuesday.
The education system is good and well.
Tuesday. And we are back. Wait, are we recording?
No, you have to do 3, 2, 1. You can't do 14, 7 Tuesday. I won't have
You
any
should do
idea.
8. You should do it. Fine. 3, 2, 1.
Right, thanks for joining us back, and we're going on.
And then the second spoiler is what happens next.
What yours was about being able to say numbers in order.
Oh no, that was obviously fine.
I love how we know. I still don't know what happened. Just
no.
What's the answer that you weren't able to count?
Fine.
3, 2, 1. Sometimes I go 4. 3, 2, 1.
Right. Don't want a little guess. So okay. So 2 guesses. What happens next, and what celebrity is mentioned?
Oh. Tennis and Christina Aguilera.
Ooh.
Squash and Katie Price.
Ooh.
Nice. Dorsey?
Boris dancing and Steven Seagal.
Here we go.
1, 2,
No, I need to go for piss, so pause it.
What?
Pause it. It's not fucking VHS.
Pause. Leave this in. Pause it. Pause life.
Do you think he takes it on because it's wireless? So is he standing there having a wee now?
Was that,
and can hear us?
was that the title we're going for this then? Rohan, what was it called? Rohan's
2 minutes? Rohans? I can't remember what I said.
I thought some people
Corner.
suggested some on the Facebook chat on
There's some good
TFUK. There was a couple of
Rohans Corner.
Rohans Corner, that was it, yeah.
Where the shit gets real.
Yeah.
I can't
Takes no
remember.
prisoner.
There was a funny one that I remember seeing. Like, that's actually quite clever.
Mystic Rohan and
this is what everybody tunes in for.
Why does it
work?
Rohan's
when you look
Ross
at the statistics where everybody goes.
Yeah. Why do they only listen for 8 minutes?
Paul can't understand. Paul can't wait to just edit the shit. We'll have an episode once where we're like, hi. Anyway, thanks. Bye.
I wouldn't edit it. I would just leave it unfiltered.
Oh, I can't leave the Ross Kemp bit in. And the bit where it finished.
There's a lot of Ross Kemp. Ross Kemp's never going to see it. How paranoid is he? Does Ross Kemp just troll random YouTube channels just in case?
If he just phones up Alexis every day, you definitely not put me on any YouTube channels. Okay, well,
don't you mention it.
Shut up.
Otherwise, me and Phil are going to come round and mess you up.
You've shown me that Computron 5 times now. Can you sober up next week?
What do you mean 5 times, you wank?
You could hear you dick.
I just came back to hear you've been pissed 5 times already, wank. I'm not pissed tonight.
No, Computron.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
No,
welcome back.
And enough of that. That's enough of that.
I remember that.
It was Ross Kemp.
That was funny. That was funny.
Every week.
That was quite funny.
It might not be funny to watch, but it was funny to be in that moment.
I got one more.
Oh, we've got one more.
Take the clap back.
Technical terms, does it, Rich?
Or do you go through with the clap?
You need the creams for that, I'm afraid.
For our guests, this is just for our guests. Everyone saw this. I remember this well. So what?
Paul got a
happened?
black idea. So it looks like he's
Was probably the best iteration of Bumblebee I've ever seen.
So
and
what happened?
I think I've always loved him as a kid. He was my favourite. When you look back on him, I thought he was a bit of a DICK in the program, the cartoon. But I loved him as a kid, and to see him, it's like he's grown up with me, and I got to.
So what happens next?
Okay, I reckon because Paul didn't say the word dick, he said DICK. So he's editing it because of children. But I reckon that Alexis' little boy is going to say a rude word, and you're all going to be surprised.
Good guess.
I think that a similar thing will happen, but Paul will forget where he is, and he will call out a rude word, and then Alexis' son will ask him what that rude word means, and Alexis will quickly have to think of an explanation that doesn't involve the actual definition of that rude word. That's the most sensible guess I've done today. There wasn't even
Darily needs to be in there.
Having said that,
beaks where there shouldn't be beaks.
Having said that, Rich.
I think it's along the lines of what the lads have said. So someone's going to say a really terrible word, and then Alexis' son is going to repeat that word
to show why Jetfire would eventually switch.
Oh, we haven't mentioned the Alpha Trine protocol, have we? The whole idea of.
Well, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? Because not only did Optimus Prime have the Matrix of leadership, which gave him that power and strength, which he didn't really articulate much about, but they didn't want to give him the knowledge and wisdom. They gave that to Ultra Magnus, who used that knowledge and wisdom to get himself captured and executed.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't really make sense, but it didn't help him much, did it?
Yeah, so that was a bit stupid. So maybe they should go back to combining that together, but then all that knowledge and wisdom seems to be lost because of that virus that Shockwave decided to release. But then that was important.
Ignore Jamie and watch Alexis.
Why one of the Guardians.
Sorry, I'm just watching Alexis.
Yeah.
He's trying to block the doors so he's chat.
He shouldn't have done it.
You're the owner of the Airbnb that Alexis is in. We apologise for the damage he's doing to your property now on your parquet flooring.
Then that virus was important because that was obviously destroying a lot of the Autobot protocols and
parenting 101.
I was going to say, like, Alexis looked like he was in holiday mode.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to be joining us that week. He told us he couldn't. And then he was able to join us, but his child kept coming in, so we barricaded the door.
And that's the end of that's the time warp.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I think we could all agree that feature is a winner. And I can't wait for next week's well-prepared episode.
Thank you, Alexis, for that really well-prepared section of the show. We're going to move on now to this week's discussion, which is, what is your Transformers Utopia? So in regards to your collection, what is your dream collection? What's in it? How's it displayed? All of that kind of good stuff. So who wants to kick us off first?
I'll go first if nobody else wants to.
Okay.
My dream collection would include an entirety of fully boxed, sealed G1 Transformers within a palatial room in my mansion, which I owned, including plenty of display areas set out like battlefields on Cybertron and other well-known places from Transformers cartoons, not just G1, because I would also have basically every single Transformer within this room. It would look like a library of Transformers. They'd be everywhere. And this would be my area, my part of the house where I would go to find solace and center myself, and obviously sometimes mess around with Transformers and play with them as well. And it would include every single Transformer throughout history, possibly with the exception of Beast Wars. But apart from that, it would include every Transformer. I'm joking. I'd have them. There's got to be something for the kids to play with. And maybe not Bayverse, because that's shite. But it would be a place where you could just go and it would just be awesome stuff. But you'd have to have the unboxed versions as well, so that you had something to actually pick up and fiddle around with. But also, that's my hell, because there's something about all those sealed G1 Transformers and all the rest of them that it feels a little sad. But I probably still would. That's what I would do if I had unlimited money and I could do anything with it. That's what I would do. Look, I've brought Rich to tears. I'm sorry, Rich. I didn't mean to get you emotionally.
It's getting to me like...
It's so beautiful.
I like that Rich had tissues to hand by his computer.
You know he does. And that's a discussion for a whole other episode. But yeah, that would be it. Would just be that opportunity to have any Transformer that I could ever want just there to hand. I know I'd got it, and also a copy that I could actually pick up and transform and not worry about it. I like the way you see that he's flexing there, Rich. He's got kitchen roll. It's not just like tissues. He's got kitchen roll. One sheet.
Super absorbent. I tell
Jamie
you.
the Extinguisher, little
sprinkler. Anyway, but yeah, that's what it would be like. If money was no object. I actually talked to my wife about this once. If we won the lottery, we bought a massive house. I said, there's going to be a big room, and it's going to be Transformers stuff everywhere. And that's going to be my room. Nobody else goes in there and messes with anything, especially bloody kids. Love you, kids. It would be, it would be my place to go, and I'd have a big screen to watch Transformers films and cartoons and all the rest of it. And that would be it. It would just be a wonderful and yet in some ways miserable place.
The escape.
Exactly. The escape room. Sealed. Not from the burglars, just from the kids. I'd push a couch in front of the door. Because that works.
But it wouldn't be an Airbnb.
No. Not on the wooden flooring.
Imagine putting that up on Airbnb. Check this shit out. Come and stay here.
So yes, that would be my utopia, just that opportunity to have all that stuff to be, because that's one big thing with Transformers, especially with G1, because that was the one I grew up with, is to actually hold, when you hold a G1 Transformer still in its box, minty fresh, and you look at it, it's literally, for me, it's like being transported back to being a kid and looking at them on the shelves in Woolworths, the only shop in my hometown that ever sold Transformers, and just, the memories, the feelings that you got, the excitement, reading the packaging, reading the bio, and then looking across that artwork that was always on the back of the packages, where you could pick out different characters, and every now and again a really random one that was basically a wrong colored character, but you're like, who could that be? Who is that? Is there going to be a toy of that? That's my idea of Transformers Utopia, just being able to do that.
Nice.
Thank you. Anybody else want to go now?
I'll go if you want. Do you want me to go?
Yeah,
I like that, Andy.
Does it involve Dairy Lee?
It could. Only for lubrication.
For the joints.
I think because I'm like the opposite of. I grew up in the 80s, obviously, but I think I'm the opposite of a G1er in that I love the Unicron trilogy, the Japanese stuff specifically. So if I can get Blur back out, I'd have every single Unicron trilogy figure from Japan in the box, but the boxes are opened, and I'm allowed to open them whenever I want. In a wing. It wouldn't be one room, it'd be a wing, and it'd be like a corridor with them all down the center, like on top, on like high shelves. And I can pick them off whenever I wanted and get them out, and then put them back in the box and put them back on the shelf. It'd just be Unicron trilogy, Japanese Unicron trilogy boxes down a long corridor. And I'd walk down the corridor and I'd walk back up the corridor. And when I reached the end, I'd nod. Like this. But no, honestly, I
have a mirror up so you can nod into the mirror. You know?
Look at yourself
like
and go, you did well.
But my thing is Japanese Unicron trilogy figures. Even though I suppose I'm a G1 because I grew up in the 80s. I love Japanese Unicron trilogy figures because they're like a mix of like cheese and class. It's like a dairy. It's really well wrapped. But at the end of the day, it's cheese. It's absolute cheese. And it would be boxed Unicron trilogy figures as far as the eye could see, including 32 Armada Cyclonuses in all the variations. Exactly, Ed. And that would be it. Just the Unicron trilogy. Whatever else I wanted, like I love Chug and all that kind of stuff, but all of the Japanese Unicron trilogy stuff in their glorious, colourful, lovely packaged boxes, just as far as the eye could see, and a mirror at the end of each corridor.
I would definitely want the Cybertron figures. I love Transformers Cybertron.
The Japanese ones are so much. I don't say they're so much better because they're not, but they're better. If you ever
is it just the color scheme though? No, I know the boxes and the packaging, but
if you have like a Vector Prime from Cybertron.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
The Takara version hasn't got bendy wings or a bendy sword. It's all like solid plastic. It's hard.
Look at that.
I thought he froze then.
I did. The Japanese
facially.
stuff. It's so much nicer. I mean, I could get one down to show you. Hang on, let's have a quick check.
Have you got Vector Prime there?
Okay, so crosswise, Auto Vault, just the box. It's just so pretty. It's got lovely things on the back that I can't read. And it's got
wait a minute, if you're super rich, you can learn to speak the language and read the boxes.
But
he couldn't. He can pay somebody to follow him around and just read it for him.
To be honest, I can read Japanese. I just don't know what it says.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, but yeah, I love.
I don't know what it means.
It's true. So I had a Japanese girl in my class come in a couple of years ago, and she could only write in hiragana. So I had to learn hiragana to translate on Google Translate what she was saying to me. It didn't work, but I learned hiragana. So yeah, I love Japanese Unicron trilogy stuff, and I just have a corridor full of it, and I'd call it a wing. Have a beer.
It's like one-upmanship now. Next person's I'm gonna have a bat cave, but it's just Transformers, life-size ones.
A turret. I'll have a turret.
And then Rich will be like, "I've got a planet." It's just Transformers as far as the eye can see. Who's next?
Okay, I got one.
Oh, go on. You go ahead. Go on.
Okay, so money's not an object. Okay, so I'll be semi-retired, but I'll have a little vintage Transformers shop. I'll invite my mates over. I'll play with them all day. I'll do a bit of accounting because it's a shop. I'll be semi-retired. Money's not an object, so I don't need to work. I'll have a little vintage Transformers shop, but I'll also have the new stuff. And I'll just be there, and people will come in, play with them, buy them. It'll just be quite relaxed.
Yeah.
Money would be no object. I could probably put a little coffee machine in there, or maybe Starbucks could come in, and there you go. It would just be a bit of fun, and I could share my hobby rather than be in a room on my own with a load of toys. I could share it with the guys.
Ed, that's beautiful. And
that's
the scary
lovely.
thing is that now you've said that, I was talking to my sister-in-law a few weeks back, and I actually said if I ever won the lottery, I'd open a toy shop in my hometown because it doesn't have a toy shop anymore. and all the like prices of the toys would be all like, you know, at cost, so they'd be cheap, so the kids could get them and kids could come in and play with them, and they'd have areas with the toys out so they can try them out and everything. I'd get robbed constantly, but you know, at least it'd be fun for the kids.
Yeah, but money's no object, so it wouldn't matter.
Exactly, you wouldn't care, would you?
No.
That'd be wonderful.
So that's me. And Andy.
Nice.
Okay, I'll go next then. So I've always had this thing where I thought that I wanted to get a space where there isn't a room full of toys, but a room decorated with toys. And I didn't want to have just loads and loads of stuff everywhere. And I think I've got to the point now where, yes, I'd like some more space to get more of my collection out, but I think that's really the only other thing I would want, more space. It's not. I'm a massive. The biggest part of collecting for me is the chase, and just to have everything there at one point would be like almost like, well, what's the point now then? It's great it's here, but what's the point? But if money was no object, sorry, I'd say more space. I would have Fu Adams in the corner just smashing knockoffs all day long, right? Like
he'd be exhausted.
12 hours a day.
Please, can I stop? He'd say.
And he'd be saying, "Oh, can I do another beat down in another couple of weeks?" No, you can't, Fu. I'm paying you. You smash those knockoffs. So that's what I would do. But seriously, I mean, I think a lot of it for me, I'd just like a little bit more space, and I'd like to take the stuff down that's up my loft and actually see it more often than the 2 or 3 times a year I'll go up and get some new stuff down or go through it all. So I think if money was no object, I'd get a bigger place, but I wouldn't want it throughout the house. I'd just want one space. Like now, the rest of my house has none of this other stuff in there. So I think that's it from there. Yeah.
See, the person smashing the knockoffs, would he be in minimum wage or like a higher wage? What would you?
Well, well, he's got his own Patreon, so I'm not paying him, mate.
No, I was going to say, like, you know, you might assume that he would have the sorest wrist in the Transformers fandom, but we are friends with RJ, so. Sorry, RJ.
And Brad just won, so we can all go home tonight. Hey,
you want to go, Jamie?
Yeah. You know what? If money was actually no object, do you know, I have all these generic ideas, and listening to you guys' imagination, it kind of puts my ideas to shame. And I guess, you know, I like things in order, and I love G1, but I'm not a stickler for it has to be cartoon accurate comic. I like the best version of that G1, and I feel like I'd be able to get multiple versions, and I would have them, you know, transformed, one in robot mode and one in a box. You know, would have almost the 3 stages. So if it's a triple change, I would have more, and if it's a 6 change, I would have them all. And I would love that, and me, that'd be great. And I would have like the games machines with all the different Transformer games, even the Spectrum and the Commodore 64 with their generic games, and I would have the comics linked with those games for those different eras, and I would also try to have the forums in the media, and I would even have the Bayverse, you know, because there's always people with bad taste, but you know, but you've got, but I would have that because it's still something that brought Transformers back. You know, and I do appreciate some of the figures. You know, I have bought some of them, and I like Bayverse because we're with Kingdom and Siege. I feel like I've got a compulsive disorder. I need to buy it because I'm not sure if I would like it or not. But by the time I've made my mind up, the damn thing's sold out. So that choice has been taken away from me, and it's a struggle then to buy it. What I would love to do is I like Bayverse in the sense I can pick and choose, and if it goes sold out, I don't mind. And I get the figures, and then Bayverse, and the plastic softer. I don't know why it is. It's easier on my hands to transform. It feels like it's more technical rather than trying to, you know, and forcing something and ramming it in there, and then, you know. So yeah, I would just love that. You know, having a big room, bigger house, easier for, you know, my partner and stuff. And then
do you use your spudger much?
You know, that's one of the best things you ever got me, because I use that all the time. I even used it on Unicron, I couldn't get Unicron's. Oh, fuck! It was like little wee piece inside, and I just got the fudge right, and I use it on all the Kingdom figures so far, and it's like the best thing. It's absolutely majestic, you know. And that was a good thing about. God, I lost my track there. But yeah, I would have like equipment out, like the fudgers and all the genetic stuff, and I would have Gav Boograce and Nathan Croak drugged.
What? Please finish that sentence.
Next week on Transformers the show.
Guys, ICN News. Gav and Nathan drunk.
Where's the Nathan?
Next on tonight's news, a madman.
Obviously, they would have medical care, but they would be in cages. And Gav would have to do custom stuff for me and fix my Transformers had broken. Nathan would have to do customs to my will and demand. And I would have someone with electric shock stuff to electrocute them just in case it got
Nathan might be up for that.
This has gone in a very strange direction.
But I thought RJ would be perfect for that. Go RJ.
Just one of the sequels to Hannibal.
You know,
if anybody mentions being smothered in Dairy Lee, I'm walking out.
That could be payment.
Well, you know. But yeah, so that'd be my ideal setup. Obviously, they would be well looked after. They would have healthcare and national insurance and stuff like that.
You just said they were in cages.
Big cages.
They were basically enslaved.
Yes, but guys, you said money was no object. Surely, that's what
would they have access to beaks where they shouldn't be beaks.com?
Like, obviously, I better stop here because you don't appreciate my imagination. So I'm just gonna and obviously, you've got to the good stuff yet, but yeah, okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to look forward to watching this bit back again.
It just went dark. That got so dark. It was.
Yeah, I don't get how we get
strange.
The drugs came out.
I can already see Jamie later on tonight. Cut that bit out.
No, I can't work out how we got.
Just like flicking
I'd like to have all
syringes.
these different versions of all these
That came from the heart.
So innocent, and then all of a sudden it was, and I'd have Gav Burgess and Nathan trapped as my prisoners.
Just want a corridor, like.
I feel when you use the word prisoners, it puts a negative spin on it, and its conception, it's pure. You know, so
my Utopia, I guess, the Ark of Covenant gets distilled into the factory, and there's the factory, and almost like a factory of formers, but I'm almost in glass cases, but they're not glass cases, but they're in cabinets, but they are touchables, but they're not touchables. You could reach in and touch one. So the thing that I like about my collection is that you can reach in and touch one. I want someone to touch it, not me.
That's a strange comment.
You want to? I think I got it, Alexis. You just want to be able to pick them up and touch them, like
exactly.
You Transformers, yeah.
Indeed.
And that's it for another Transformers the show. I'd like to thank our guests, Brad, Exillion XLR. I'd like to thank Ed, Bumble Jumper 1982, and of course James, Jamie, Andy, and that prick Alexis. I've been Xortrider, and normal service will be resumed next week with Paul. Take care.
I want to drink wine.
I'm going to cut you. Don't piss me off.
Dictatorship. You're welcome to edit.
That could be funny. I'm going to cut you. Talk over me. I'm going to cut you.
It's not. You're welcome
Insult
to
me.
edit.
Oh, you better know I'm going to cut you. You turned into the old guy from The Simpsons. That's a paddling.
Okay, so on to pickups. So first off, I'm going to go to Alexis, but before you start...
no, I don't want to go first.
Oh, just leave it.
It doesn't matter. He's the host. He said you.
3, 2, 1, and then just do pickups and pick Andy. That's what we always do.
Okay, we pick Andy. Okay.
We don't. Hasn't he not been? Well, of course he hasn't been. He only had about 5 seconds. What am I talking about?
Thing is, if I go now, I'm going to keep going, so I think I can hold.
Yeah, don't break the seal.
Yeah. Keep going. Is it going to be like a tidal wave?
It's like the 2-pint limit. Once you get over 2 pints, that's it.
Just come up saying your internet connection is unstable. Like, if only knew the rest. Like,
is Katie watching Pornhub?
Could be, to be fair.
Or you just go and Google, and it's like everything. So
just type in beaks where there shouldn't be beaks.
Do you remember Microsoft did the the advert, and that the guy surfing the line goes, "When you don't want her to see what you're surfing, because you're buying her a present for her birthday."
Yeah.
Microsoft safe web mode. Hi, honey. That fuck off. You're
We don't know what that's for.
It could be research. It could be research for a present for her.
On those kind of sites.
This year, your present is a technique.
That's it. Honey, your present is a lap dance.
Oh dear.
Virtual one.
Watch this with me.
That's
We're going to have to put a certificate at the beginning of this one.
I know, this one seems to have stepped up a level. I feel like the new guys have taken this as an opportunity to just cut loose. Like, let's freaking have it.
We're ruining shit.
The channel.
He would have moved us on.
It's not us that are going to burn.
We're not responsible for this.
It's all right. Alexis is in charge. He'll let it slide.
And now on Transformers After Dark, Brad and Ed and Xortrider go hardcore on your
with
hardcore.
beaks where they shouldn't be.
I thought you were going to say go hard panther on each other with beaks. Beaks where there shouldn't be beaks.
Look but don't touch. Touch but don't look. If it's in there, go for it.
Taste but don't swallow.
So last time I was on, I was talking about the new mask stuff I got. So I picked up a bit of Condor from Dave Vance for about 30 quid, which was a lovely buy. Love a bit of Condor.
Love a bit of Condor.
I do know what's
it was great. It's up there with
Died again, hasn't it?
Yeah. Every time you see
again.
Every time you see Condor, you just sort of break up.
It's just it's only when you say Condor.
I'm too short to play rugby. You have to be at least 4 foot, and I'm like 2.
I'm too much of a wuss.
I never like playing rugby.
Okay, are we going to go on to someone else now?
Yeah,
go on, Richard. You're the host.
You're in charge, mate.
I'll do more if you want. I can just make it up.
That's what Alexis does. You may as well.
I'm just still big on the screen, like do some dancing.
Can I just go to the bathroom quickly?
No problem, mate.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. We're never getting him back. Never.
I'll be quick.
Take Cyclonus.
Kick him while he's gone. We got all the good stuff. Ooh, what a lovely photo of him there. Look.
Edit that in.
That's the screenshot.
Okay, ladies, tip your hat. Ladies, tip your hat. Gentlemen,
steady on. He's a
How's
manly man. You can
That's
look
it.
and you can touch. He doesn't
At
mind.
once.
I actually messaged Dave Shotton in the week asking if it was socially acceptable to wear a cowboy hat at my age, and it's nice that Ed just rocks it.
I'm interested now as to what the answer you got was.
Can you
Was
say
it a
things,
flat no?
things
Because
like
you're
that
not
don't count
wearing
in
one.
Wales? Like, he's a sexy man as well.
And obviously there's that as well.
Not gay, but sexy man.
I'm not gay, but I do like
Not
it.
gay, not being gay, but sexy man.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong about being gay, but I'm not.
Absolutely not. Not gay. I'm straight, but he's a sexy man. If I was woman, I would.
I was women.
We were.
Were you not talking about my lovely cowboy picture?
Yeah, we were.
That's what started it, to be fair.
It took us down a dark path.
Do you know,
And then we
when
got
we
light
came on
again.
Transformers the show last time, my wife watched it and she said afterwards, "You looked handsome," and I thought, "Oh, bless her."
Oh, that's
Oh, is that the whole story?
Yeah, that's the whole story.
Mealy never
Ed
says
Drew in
anything
My
nice
Wife
like that.
Fancies Me Shocker.
Yeah.
Because
It
I
was a
went
big
to,
moment for me. The
because
girl
I
said
went
I
to
was pretty.
because I went to get my vaccination this week and she's getting hers and she could hear me and I'm going to the nurse. Oh yeah, I'm a cellular biologist, and I can hear her going, "Oh, fuck off," you know, because she's like, "If you say that one more fucking time," you know?
I love the idea that you could literally hear her. Oh, fuck off, Jamie.
No,
Are all the nurses dressed as
Broken
Jeffrey?
dreams.
Just dressed as Jeffrey. Oh, that would be an experience. That would be an experience. I don't know if I get turned on by that.
It's interesting. You
I'd
felt
like
you
to
needed
assume
go
I
there.
would.
oh, everything's open, right?
I like the giraffe costume, but have you got it in sheep?
Oh, steady.
And now what we're on.
This was what's going to happen.
Do you think? Seriously, do you not think Jamie and Lex? It's like the lads have come in from their nice, sensible channels, and they're like, "Wait, let's do this."
No, sensible.
I think I'll take up swearing today.
Hey, do you think Paul always looks more sober because his shelves are really neat?
Yeah.
That's definitely an effect, isn't it?
What you can't see is he's propping himself up against them, so he doesn't just peel slowly over to the side.
There's loads of really neat boxes, like a
Well, have you
Tetris
noticed
stack,
when it comes to the
but he looks
discussion,
sober.
He starts to be quieter and quieter.
That's when the alcohol kicks in.
Yes.
Usually. That's when the rum kicks in. Right. Anyway, we are centered.
What? What?
Do the Scooby-Doo ending.
Use your